Welcome to the Revive, Thrive, and Optimize podcast. I'm really excited today because I have another special guest, Travis Jenkins. How you doing, Travis?
Doing good, Billy. How you doing?
Good. So, Travis, people have seen your wife, Tia, on this show before. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, no, she was awesome. And so they've heard the story of Knox. And if you haven't watched that episode, please go back and watch it because the story is amazing. So you don't have to go into the details because she did a lot of that. But from a father's perspective, we were talking before we started how much different it is than from a mother's perspective. So you got a 4-year-old that's screaming 7 hours a day with stomach pain. The doctors can't help. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you?
It sucks. Just put it simple. It sucks. Your son's screaming, and as a father, I believe you're supposed to be a protector and a provider, and I couldn't do it. I had no answers, carrying him around, shaking him, put him in a hot bathtub, put him in a cold bathtub, ice packs, et cetera, nothing worked. Pain medicine, none of it. Nothing fixed it. So first time Tia called me and said that she was taking the emergency room, something was wrong. I thought he was just sick and she was blowing it out of proportion. And then it continued to get worse over the years or really over the months, I guess. And then I seen it myself a few times, and then it started every night, or it got to where it was every night. And, you'd hold him, and then physically your arms would be sore from holding him and shaking him and carrying him around, and it just didn't work. And the hospital we ended up in, Levine's emergency room in Charlotte, started about 6 o'clock when I picked him up from the babysitter, or actually from Tia's grandma. Picked him up. He started complaining. By 9-10 o'clock, it was full-blown episode. We were in the emergency room, walking around, carrying him out there. Met the couple in the side room. Pretty much we got the information we needed, and then I think God said, that's it. Like, y'all can go home. So we were there for 2 more hours, went out to check and said, hey, where are we at? We need to be seen. And they thought we went home. They already checked us off the list because we got what we were supposed to get when we were there. And
she said they forgot you, so they really forgot you.
Yeah, basically that when we were there, it was, I don't remember when it was, but I feel it's flu season or sometime where they had a bunch of sick people or people that were considered contagious. Put us in a side room, which was for non-contagious or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we sat in there for hours. Knox had fell asleep. I actually woke up, threw up in the floor, basically went back, and then they did an ultrasound. We ended up leaving the hospital probably 6-7 o'clock in the morning. And then Tia came up and met you that day. I was staying at home watching Knox and trying to get some rest, and rest is history, I guess.
So what was it like for you? Did she come home and tell you, hey, I just went to Prescriptions Plus, met this guy, and bought all these supplements, and we're going to give him a digestive enzyme tonight? Do you remember that and any of that and how it progressed from there?
A little bit. A lot of it was, like, I just met Billy, just talked to him. He went through a lot of stuff, tried to break down. I think you were trying to discuss with her the things that were happening to his body to cause the reactions. Instead of a 3-letter diagnosis or an acronym for something that doesn't mean anything, it was, this is what his body's doing, this is why it's reacting this way, and this is what he needs to fix it. And, we were both in the same boat. It's like, well, let's try it. Let's see how it works. No real, apprehension on my part. It was just like, let's go. And it worked almost, instantly. Day one, it first started, when the episode started, we're both like, okay, it didn't work. Like, here we go again. And then it stopped. And usually his episodes would have waves. It would come, go, usually 15, 20 minutes of really, really bad screaming, pain, curling up in fetal position. Like, he was struggling for 15, 20 minutes, and then it would dissipate for a minute, and then he would kind of relax. And so we thought it was that period where he was relaxing, but then it never came back. And so it's like, okay, this is different. And then continued. And then I feel like it was maybe a shorter recovery. I mean, it seemed, at that point in time, everything seemed like it was a long time, but I feel like it was maybe 6 months, and he was just drastically different. He was playing soccer, didn't have energy, couldn't play soccer. His coach actually said, are you going to play? And he's like, I'm saving my energy to the fourth quarter, because he was just wandering around. He had no energy at a 4 or 5 year old. So drastically different now. Runs everywhere, jumps. Just broke his arm playing on the couch. Like different kid completely.
Yeah. So yeah, because as the dad, I mean, I'm with you. We're the protector of the family, especially your children, and then you've tried everything to try and nothing works. It's got to be very, very frustrating.
Yeah. I had more like bicep workouts carrying my son around than I've ever done in a gym.
Yeah.
Like it's more soreness, muscle fatigue. Like it's just, don't know what to do, but you're just trying to be close to him.
Yeah. Well, the good news is he's been 6 years now with no issues. And you say after 6 months, he was a totally different kid. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Night and day different now. You can't get him to calm down or sit down.
He's got that energy he's supposed to have at that age.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Getting
good.
in trouble and, doing the normal kid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, he's a boy, right? He's supposed to do some stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting a little trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's normal. Good. So, Travis, we've talked about Knox. We've talked about Tia. What about your experience? Now, you've been to the weekend summit, the OptiU summit one time.
Yep.
You came the second time with Tia. You didn't come the first.
Right.
But now you've been through it. So what did you think about that weekend? What did you learn? Would you encourage people to come? And what have your results been?
Okay. So it's a lot to digest there. So there's a few things. So Tia went to the summit, talked a lot about it. And so whenever, I think it was a couple years after, you had another live event and we came to that. And now I lost my train of thought. So where was I going? And I'm completely off. So let's see. I guess my story was I went to the summit, learned a lot about it, saw the results with Knox. And so owning a business, you kind of get wrapped up in it, and then you lose sight of your own healthcare, or you lose sight of the things that you need to do for yourself. Got heavy, way out of shape, and wanted to lose some weight. So I really wanted to focus on doing that and done some research, and results on that stuff have been tremendous. Lost 30 pounds of fat, gained 10 pounds of muscle.
Now, hang on, because this is important.
All right.
All right? Because the medical community is convinced that you can't lose fat and gain muscle at the same time.
Yeah, that's
correct. So you, in, what's it been, 5 months now?
Yeah.
In 5 months, you've lost 30 pounds of fat.
Yep.
You've gained 10 pounds of muscle. And we're measuring this.
Yeah.
We're not making this up. We're using an in-body 570
right.
to show that you've lost 30 pounds of fat and gained 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, visceral fat dropped 8. Body fat percentage dropped over 10%.
Yep.
Drastic improvement. Obviously, feel much better. A lot more energy. Sleep less, but still have more energy. So get more done, be more productive, and just overall feeling much better about life.
Okay, so you came through the weekend in January.
Yep.
You and Tia. You were interested in what I term my 30 days to maximum fat loss.
Right.
You've turned it into 5 really good months, obviously.
Yeah. It was. I did 3 months of really focused, and then took a couple months off. Haven't really, kind of got back on it. Just kind of getting busy with life, and but still maintain those results. And then probably looking at it going into the summer to kind of step back up and get back on it and see if I can get to a weight that I want to be, or the weight that I used to be at. So working towards that for the summer.
Okay, so obviously you said you feel a lot better. You've lost 30 pounds of fat. You've gained muscle, which is really critical for long-term health.
Yep.
So you said that you sleep less, your energy's better, but you sleep less, but you feel energized when you get up. Your sleep is better quality, it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess I should preface it that my sleep is less, not because I'm just doing more stuff. It's just that I don't need that much sleep to maintain the energy level.
Right.
Going to bed at 12 or 1 and getting up at 6 or 7, like that's not a problem. We're used to would go to bed at 10 and wake up at 8 and feel like I needed to sleep again.
Right. So you're using the magnesium at bedtime, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You're using the multi probiotic digestive enzyme.
Yeah, depending on the day, between 10 and 14 supplements a day.
Okay. And you're using the whey shake, the whey protein that I formulate.
Yep.
Awesome. what else did we do for you, Travis, in January?
Yeah, we testosterone, started doing some hormone replacement therapy. We discussed some peptides, some few things there to kind of get your body to actually do the things it's supposed to. Your cells are supposed to work a certain way, and if you're not processing insulin, if you're too resistant, I can't think of it. I think it's ATP.
Yep, ATP. You're right. You're on it.
Yeah, your body doesn't process that correctly, and so then you don't get the same energy level out of the stuff that you're eating. And so it's really focused on maintaining or reducing my insulin need every day, reducing my fasting insulin, which I don't think doctors check, and it's critical. And if I eat right now, if I eat carbs or if I eat a heavy carb food, I feel like I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But if I eat proteins and fats, and there's a reason there's not any essential carbs, in my opinion. I mean, that's
Duke University study. Actually, that's not your opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something that it's like there's no carb that's essential. So,
right.
A lot of proteins, a lot of fats, and staying focused on that, and then energy. Like I can fast for 3 days, no problems. I can eat heavy one meal and then just feel better all day long.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Now, here's the impressive thing for me. Mm-hmm. You never had any health training before the weekend, right?
No.
But you come in and now you're talking about ATP, and you're talking about insulin, and you're talking about insulin resistance, and you're talking about energy production, and you're talking about things that were what I would call pretty deep in the summit.
Okay.
But you've retained them, and what matters is now you know why that's important.
Yeah.
And so you talked about something. If you're insulin resistant, if you're not making ATP or energy inside the cell efficiently, you make a lot less energy. Mm-hmm. It's actually 19 times less.
Yeah.
So it's huge. And that's what I tell people when they tell me they're fatigued or they've been diagnosed with chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia or any of those things. Yeah. They're making 19 times less energy in the cell. I already know what's going on, and I know how to help them fix it. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of them doing like you, though, and taking the advice and putting it to use.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that if you see it, I got to sit, and watch my son and his improvement. And so it was real easy to get involved myself when I made the decision to do it, mm-hmm. And stop following, or listening to all the textbooks. And, I think it's, this is what it is. You got these 3 symptoms, and it's this textbook, and then this is what you do. And there's no critical thinking. There's no thought in the process of someone's healthcare. It's, well, this is what I do for 1,000 people, so it's going to work for this person. I think there's some truth to that, but it's not the same for everybody.
Right.
And so when you start paying attention to it on yourself, or you start paying attention to your own body, I started taking magnesium. I was taking 3. Now it's like, okay, well, now I can take more, and now I take 9 a day, and you feel better. Your energy production's better. Yep. Magnesium, I think, is probably the best supplement. I don't know if you'll agree with it, but I think it's the most universal, at least as far as when I take it and when I don't take it. If I forget it, I can definitely tell it more than I can tell if I don't take an enzyme.
Yeah.
But I also think my gut health has always been good. Never really had any stomach pains or ulcers or acid reflux or any of that. I've never really had them. So I think my gut health didn't need as much of the enzymes, even though I take one every day with my daily vitamins, and I just don't have any issues there. But the magnesium is the one that I feel the most.
I 100% agree with you, Travis. Okay. And if you'll think back to the summit, mm-hmm. I said if I was ever going to be stranded on Gilligan's Island, and I could only take one supplement with me, it's going to be my OptiU magnesium. Okay. Absolutely. 350 positive functions in the body. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right. That's one if you miss, you're probably going to realize, hey, man, I need to not let that happen again.
When I wake up in the morning, I can tell that one was missed way more than the others. The other ones I think are just a general feel, but that one I can tell. Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. I tell everybody there's a reason that it's the number 1 selling supplement of all my formulas. Okay. It's the magnesium because what you said, people feel it.
Yeah.
They know it. So I think you talked about some really important things, though, is how people get caught up in this cookie cutter system. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I try to do is personalize this. Like Knox's plan is going to be different than the next kid. Mm-hmm. Your plan is not exactly like Tia's.
No.
But you're both getting results. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that you mentioned that we did for you was peptides. Mm-hmm. And peptides are just simply amino acid chains, small amino acids put together in certain sequences, mm-hmm. and they send signals to our body. You pretty much said that they signal our body to do things. The problem with peptides is that the powers that be have said, hey, we might need to put these in a category that makes them, quote, not safe for human use. Right. Even though they've been used for almost 100 years in Russia, mm-hmm. They're amino acids, so think protein chains, small chains of protein. Right. Our bodies know what to do and how to recognize them, but obviously the drug companies have power, and they don't want necessarily you being able to get a peptide that they can't patent because it's naturally found. Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but that portion of the 30 days to maximum fat loss has drastically changed. Yeah. Because they've just made it harder and harder for people to get, and they made it harder and harder for compounding pharmacies to be able to do it. So unfortunately, that's not there. But the good news is, there are other things that we can do, right? The supplements, the water, the food, the exercise, the sleep. Mm-hmm. But now, one of the things that is really exciting is peptide bioregulators, which are still peptides, but they're even smaller chains, and they're under the category of peptide bioregulators. And so far, the FDA and none of the government agencies has touched them, so they're still over the counter. Okay. They're considered supplements, I should say, not over-the-counter drugs, but supplements. So we can still do that. Okay. But one of the things that you and I were discussing before we started is, even you've lost 30 pounds of fat, you've gained 10 pounds of muscle, nobody can argue with that in any time frame, but especially 5 months. Yeah. Well, a little bit less than 5 months. But have you suffered? Did you suffer doing this?
No. Did you feel better.
Right. Right.
It's the opposite of suffering. So you're doing the things that you need to, and you feel better doing it. So
now, isn't that a win-win-win when you think about it? Yeah. And so I think about that, and you said, though, before we started, that you probably only did a very small percentage of the exercise part. Would you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So exercise part, you should do, minimal 30 minutes of cardio a day or something just to get your heart rate up. Did that 2-3 times a week pretty consistently. Running a business, you let the day get away, and then it's 10 o'clock, you don't want to start a workout. So those days you would just skip it and then try to do it the next morning, or try to pick it up the next afternoon if you got to it. So that part, I would say I failed at that part of it. But even with it, doing push-ups, I mean, it's simple. Drop down, do some push-ups. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have a 30-minute, specific workout plan. You don't have to have an hour at a gym. You don't have to have those things. Just do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do some planks, crunches, burpees, whatever you want to do. Just do something. And that's something that I'm focused on this time, or focus on more now, is to just try to get something in every day. Mm-hmm. and try and, a lot of times you get too wrapped up in the thought process and you never take any action. And it's more important to take some action, and maybe it's not perfect, maybe it's not everything you wanted it to be, but you're moving towards that goal, and then that snowball rolls downhill, and you gain a lot more momentum that way. So
yeah, one of the things that I try to help people with, and you're certainly a great example, especially I like you, own my own business. I understand how the day can get away from you in a hurry. Like you say, you get home, you're just, you don't think about or have time necessarily. You got a family. Mm-hmm. Micro workouts, you said it. I mean, a lot of days I'll just say, okay, I didn't get my normal routine in, but every hour I'm going to do 10 push-ups and 10 air squats, or a minute plank every hour, something like or sit-ups, exactly what you said. And if you think about it, if you do that for 6 or 8 hours, you got 60, 80 push-ups, 60, 80 air squats, 60, 80 sit-ups, whatever, 6, 7, 8 minutes of plank. Mm-hmm. It really adds up and gives us tremendous benefit, and you can literally do it in a minute or less every hour.
Yeah, I think generally people make a lot of excuses, myself included, especially about the workout or the fitness. And so I don't have time. I can't do this. It's just take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes. Everybody looks at their phone. They got a YouTube video. They got TikTok. They got Facebook. They've got all these things that they do. Look at it, watch it, do air squats.
Yes.
You're doing it.
Yes.
Put it in the floor, do some burpees, do something. And in that process, you're going to get a whole lot better. You're going to feel a lot better. You still get your entertainment time, if you want to call it that, but
right.
You're getting that exercise in, which your body needs. Your body needs muscle. I mean, you can't get around if you can't pick yourself up.
That's right. The number one reason people go to a nursing home is lack of the ability to do for themselves from the loss of muscle.
Right.
Sarcopenia. Mm-hmm. Which is why, on the wall where you were at the class, burn fat, not muscle. Yeah. And, this Ozempic craze and this Mounjaro craze, the studies show that those folks are burning over 50% muscle of the weight they're losing, which is a disaster.
Yeah.
So the way you've been able to do what the medical community says is impossible is that you've been able to gain muscle at the same time you lost fat. And we did that by talking about how important quality protein is, giving you a protein target every day. Like you said, cutting back the carbohydrates to only quality carbohydrates, making sure we're getting adequate, good quality fat, including saturated fats.
Right.
Drinking Kangen water. I know you and Tia bought your own Kangen water machine from me, I don't know, years ago and put it in your home.
Yep. We actually bought another one and put it at the shop.
Yeah, right.
So our employees have the same same water, or they can get the same water. And we've got a number of employees that come in and bring their own jugs and get water from the shop.
And see, that's another thing that I love about what you and Tia are doing in your business. Not only are y'all buying supplements and giving them to people and things, you've provided a very expensive medical device to give them good quality water. So y'all should be really commended for that. And I hope your employees are very appreciative. I know some of the ones I've met are very appreciative of it.
We try to, I mean, they're our employees and we have a small business and we treat them like family and we want to take care of our family just like we're taking care of our son.
Yes.
And if we're giving him supplements, if we're giving him water, if we're doing those things, then we'll do the same thing for our employees as best as we can.
Yeah.
And then, they still have to take the action. Some of them, if they don't want to bring their jug in, they don't get the water. But it's there, and we give them the opportunity to come and get it.
Well, and that you say that, and this is not necessarily about health. This is just about something I think you said is very important. But small business, right? You care about your employees. I'm a small business owner. I care about my employees, and I hope that more and more people will try to find a business like you when they need tent awnings, or me when they need supplements or prescriptions or compounds, because we do care more about our customers, our employees, than these big corporations. So
absolutely,
that's a very important point. And I wish that more and more people would get back to buying their food from small farms and farmers and farmers markets and those kind of things. And that's going to help their health also.
Yeah, that you can tell if you buy food. If we go buy meat at a certain place, like we can tell, like, okay, this meat's not good.
Right.
Maybe it tastes the same, but you can tell the quality of it. It's just not the same stuff that you get when you get good food.
Yeah.
And you feel bad. Everything about it is related to how your body, or at least in my opinion, how your body processes the food and the stuff that you're putting in.
Yeah.
If you put good stuff in, you feel a lot better. You get good results. Everything about life is much better. And then I think you minimize the risks that exist in this world. We've had a number of employees, or we've had four employees have cancer, and one of them is no longer with us. Great guy, struggled, and I think a lot of the treatments actually caused his cancer to come back because he had something different. And I think a lot of that could come down to what you put in and trying to improve your life, and not just follow a textbook or follow just a guideline that I don't think most medical people would even take if they had the same case. Yeah,
and you bring up a great point. It is true that taking this lifestyle, like the OptiU lifestyle or some similar lifestyle, and the 5 pillars and following them, there's no doubt that the studies are clear that we reduce the risk for things like heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, cancers, blood clots, infections, viruses that come along. No question. We can't prevent them all, but we can certainly make our risk much less. So I love the way you put that, is to reduce the risk. And that's what I tell people. All I can do is take the knowledge that I have and the learning that I do every day and put it to use and say, okay, I've done everything I can do to reduce my risk of having a heart attack. I've done everything I can do to reduce my risk of cancer. And that's all we can do, right? And so, but if we do that, not only do we reduce those risks, but a lot of things you and I are talking about, we feel better, we look better, we wear a smaller pant size, whatever the goals are.
Right. To me, it's about how you feel every day.
Yes.
So when you wake up in the morning, do you feel like you need to go back to sleep, or do you feel like you're ready to tackle whatever the tasks are for the day? And I think you can't get to that point unless you're 19 again. But you can't get to that point unless you're eating the right stuff,
right?
Exercising, drinking the right water, sleep, the supplements, the 5 pillars. I think is a great way to put it. It's like you do those 5 things, and I guarantee your life will be drastically different in every aspect.
Absolutely. No question. And that's why I wanted to have you on. That's why I want to have Tia on, because it's changed your entire family's lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I tell everybody, and you know this as well, these are not things that I teach and don't do. Everything I teach on that weekend, that 2 full days, Beth and I are doing it. Our kids are doing it. I mean, we're living that life, so we know what it does. I mean, I tell everybody, I say I feel 18 every day because I do, but it doesn't just happen by chance. I have to work. I have to do things to feel that way.
Yeah, I know everybody would like things to happen without effort, but nothing in life happens without effort,
right?
Or at least nothing good. Like, you got to put in the work. You got to put in you got to be disciplined. You can't, okay, well, I'm going to just stop and go get a cheeseburger and fries on the way home and then expect to be, feel good. You can't do those things. You got to, okay, well, I'm going to take my food, I'm going to pack it. I'm going to, we usually grill out, or I grill out every weekend, pack up food and bring it to work every day.
Yep. Same here.
Just be disciplined. And then, again, the results are how you feel and how you look. And, everybody around you, I think, sees it. Everybody around you knows. I know that I've got plenty of notes and comments from people that at work about how much better I look and how much better, like, my energy levels.
Yep.
All those things are drastically different.
Yeah, I would say you definitely, since I've known you, your physique has definitely changed for the better, no question. And I would tell you that you shortchange yourself, I think, on the exercise. I know you didn't do it as consistently maybe as you want, and you didn't have as much time. But it's a pretty good testament. You gained 10 pounds of muscle and lost 30 pounds of fat. You're doing something right in that exercise category for sure.
I think I'm a mutant, maybe.
Maybe so. And you're an alien or something. Yeah.
Maybe. Got a couple drops in there from the X-Men or something.
There you go. But Travis, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking your time out to come here and to do this podcast with us. And you and T are awesome. Knox is awesome. So,
awesome. I'm glad you invited us. And thanks for everything you've done for us. It's been life-changing for us to go from the struggles and the pains to just enjoying life and having an 11-year-old kid that is a joy. So.
Yeah, full of life, isn't he?
Yeah,
you got to love it. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I know the people are going to really love hearing your story.
All right, awesome.
All right, see ya.